Hey, greetings to you all, people of God. Welcome to another time with the Lord's words. Today I'd like to place something that the Lord has really put in my spirit, and that is according to the book of Proverbs chapter 6 from 16 to 19. He highlighted the 6 things that God hates. The 7th one, which is really abomination to the Lord. The first one is arrogant look, like, proud look in such a negative way. The second one, lying tongues. The third one, murderers. The fourth one, mischievousness. The fifth one, wickedness. The sixth one is you can call it accomplice to liars. And the 7th one, which is God hurts so much that those that strive or opens of conflict within a community or society at large. That's deep and profound and negatively in the light of practical Christianity or embracing a good habit. And it's indeed something that we need to be mindful of. Things that when we speak about the commandments, that is why when Jesus Christ came to teach on the subject of the commandment, he put in such a way that all these things lies in two spectrum, and that is love God thy God and love one another. Because there's so many segments in the light of what don't and do things that we allow and things that we were not allowed to do, but things that we need to be mindful of, we need to be a lookout for in terms of have the capacity to mold the image of God in us. And this is one of the things that you can call it 6 points on which Bible highlighted the 7th one as an abomination, which is those that strive or those that really puts a lot of fire to erupts the conflict within the group, community or society at large. In any situation or association, whichever you find yourself, be mindful not to be the agent of trouble. Those that brings out trouble, those that are trying to instigate a problem where there's no problem. So we have been compelled to be a peacemaker in every junction we find ourselves as kingdom ambassadors. So people of God, let us be mindful. Let's look at the first one, and that is the arrogant look. I do understand many occasions people might perceive our action. They might paint certain picture about individual or the way they present themselves. And maybe people might have a wrong perception of your character. They might think because you're so high over yourself, over the top. Okay, it is fine, but you embrace that as perhaps a feedback. Maybe you need to reflect on it and work on it so you cannot represent such a negative character to people's observation. So it's something that we can be mindful of, but don't let that be a condemnation to you, because many occasions, let's say for instance, us priests, people might see certain things concerning us, might see arrogant, not because we chose to be that way, but it's just because we are so convinced of who is in us. I speak mainly of myself, that I'm so convinced of who lives in me and who I represent. And so when it comes to the area of endorsing things that is antichrist or things that mold the image of God, I tend to have a bit of perhaps stand up from it. Some people might perceive that as a proud kind of representation, but I believe what the Bible is really pushing on is beyond that. What the Bible is pushing on in terms of proud look is that those that think that they're better than everyone else, those that think that they're untouchable, they're so high and mighty, those that put themselves above everyone else. So we all need to recognize ourselves as a human being equally in God's sight. So we need to be mindful of that. We are made out of the dust. So, and the only reason why we are living today because of the breath that God breathed in us. Subsequently, in Pentecost, Jesus Christ gave us opportunity through the transformational line of the Holy Ghost, and He breathed that God genuineness of the Spirit through the line of the Holy Ghost. And the Spirit that what ministers God's nature and then guides us, leads our path. So in that, we have been invited to work in humility. So we can actually use this moment to be a moment of transition into, if anyone that find any trait of their character that have element of proudness, you can begin the journey of perhaps malformation of it and getting out of your system and begin to embrace formation into a new being, into a person of humility, a person of calmness, a person of Christ, which is a sense of humbleness in you, so they can represent the image of God. And that is powerful, people of God. I'm not sure whether this particular segment would be enough to complete the 7 point, but let's just conclude on this particular one, the first one, which I'll perhaps address on the other 6, especially the 7th one, that the Bible made it as the abomination unto the Lord, which is those that strive